Now let's dive into our featured story of the day. The Bitcoin price can hit $1 million per coin within the next 12 to 18 months per this CEO of Off the Chain Capital. So let's break this baby down. Welcome everyone just joining the stream, and happy Easter Sunday. Let's get it. As you can see here in the headline, during a recent discussion amongst Bitcoin market analysts and educators, the potential price impact of the April halving was the focus. So let's discuss halving 3 weeks out, family. That's right. Between roundtable anchor Rob Nelson and a group of industry experts, including Adam Swick, the chief growth officer of Marathon Digital Holdings, Brian Dixon from Off the Chain Capital, and Austin Arnold of Altcoin Daily, and Natalie Brunell of Coin Stories. The future of Bitcoin was the center of debate, as it should be. Shout out to Kelly. I greatly appreciate that super. She wrote Happy Easter and FJB. Amen to that. I'm going to repeat it. Happy Easter and FJB. Thank you, family. The conversation, featuring personal insights and forecasts, delved into the anticipated impacts of the upcoming Bitcoin halving, price predictions for the future, and the potential milestone of Bitcoin reaching that seven-figure milestone, family. Swick shared nuanced insight into the cyclical nature of Bitcoin's price movements, especially in relation to the anticipated halving event scheduled to take place here in roughly 3 weeks. Swick described a pattern where hype builds up leading to such an event, followed by a phase of disillusionment, only for the interest and excitement to pick back up. Drawing parallels with the reception of the recently approved spot Bitcoin ETFs, he outlined a scenario where similar dynamics could play out around the halving. His personal price forecast for the upcoming Bitcoin halving cycle ranges from $90,000 to $120,000, hinging on the crypto's ability to breach the formidable 100,000 barrier, which he believes can lead to higher valuations. Now, Dixon, who is more bullish, offered his own bullish perspective, suggesting the possibility of Bitcoin reaching 1 million per coin in as short as a time frame as the next 12 to 18 months, virtually the cycle peak. Acknowledging this as the optimistic scenario, Dixon highlighted the significance of halving events as potential catalysts for dramatic price increases, underpinning his outlook with a sense of cautious optimism about Bitcoin's capacity for unprecedented growth. Now, Arnold took a broader view, emphasizing Bitcoin's unique position as the first asset in human history for which the supply remains unaffected by demand. He speculated on Bitcoin's value trajectory, drawing comparisons with gold, suggesting the Bitcoin's inherent qualities could not only match but surpass those of the precious metal. Arnold projected the Bitcoin could reach a valuation of $500 per coin before 2030, positing that the decade could see the crypto break past the 1 million mark and eventually see as more of a question of when rather than if. Now for Natalie Brunell, she rounded out the discussion with a forward-looking analysis. Shout out Natalie Brunell, agreeing with the potential for Bitcoin to achieve the 1 million valuation within the 2030s. She underscored the digital currency's capability to challenge and possibly exceed the gold market cap. Now, while also cautioning investors about the volatile journey ahead, Brunell highlighted the importance of patience and long-term vision in navigating the Bitcoin market, advising against premature selling that could prelude investors from participating in the asset's future appreciation. So there you have it, family. What are your thoughts on some of these predictions? I agree that 1 million is inevitable, but the $1 million question becomes, when could this really occur for this cycle peak? Can it really happen within the next 12 to 18 months, as one of those analysts just projected? I want to know your thoughts on that. We even have Samson Mow, the CEO of Jan3, who has been helping with nation-state adoption around the world, speaking with governors in places like Mexico, president of Colombia, etc. He's projecting that Bitcoin can still hit $1 million, which would mean max pain. $1 million this year. Can you potentially see that happening? I'm not as optimistic that it will happen this year, but I'm also open to the possibility that anything is possible, right? And it can occur. By 2030, I think it's a given. In fact, I've been calling for a 1 million Bitcoin price by the year 2029, just based off the previous cyclical nature of the halvings, where it's the year preceding the halving, we hit the cycle peak. So in this next month coming up tomorrow, in April, in 3 weeks to be more precise, we're going to get Bitcoin halving 2024. The year preceding the halving, we're most likely to hit the cycle peak if we remain the same with the 4-year cycles, and the year following the halving hitting the cycle peak. So with that thinking, 2028, the next halving after the one in the following month, then the following year, 2029, cycle peak. Now, my prediction has been the bear scenario for this cycle, 222,000. That's my bear scenario, family. My bull scenario has been raised to $750,000 per coin. I think most likely we're going to be somewhere between that gap. I know it's a wide gap, but hey, it is what it is. Bitcoin has so much potential, it's not even funny. Supply shock happening this year. Bitcoin having around the corner. We still have massive, unprecedented ETF inflows that are not going to slow down. BlackRock now has over 250,000 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy now has like over 200,000 Bitcoin, controlling 1% of the circulating supply. That's not going to slow down. We have nation state adoption. We have sovereign wealth fund adoption. We have more ETFs, which haven't even launched yet. We have the presidential election of 2024. A lot of catalysts right now, right? We have hyperinflation occurring, right? They claim to have inflation under control. Don't worry, guys. We got it under control. Less than 3%. Everything is great. Oh, the banks couldn't be more strong right now. Everything is... No, that's the BS they tell you, right? We can't listen to anything these criminals tell us. They don't deserve our trust, right? We got to watch what they do. We know there was a regional banking crisis last year. We know the regional banking situation didn't get any better. More banks are most likely to fail. We know people don't trust the banks, right? They're ripping people off left and right. Look at Jamie Dimon, for Christ's sake, of JP Morgan Chase. I mean, if I had my money in a bank right now, want to know what I do? Exactly what I did when I got into Bitcoin. I'd take it out and I'd buy Bitcoin and I'd borrow as much money as the bank allows me to borrow, right? And I'd buy Bitcoin with it. The same blueprint that, Saylor and Bukele are using. The only difference, I didn't get that 0.6% interest rate. But nonetheless, borrow as much money as you can if you're in a position to pay it back, family. If you believe in Bitcoin and you're going to be hodling for the long term, that's the play, right? Speculative attack against these banking cartels that want to see you poor and eating bugs at the end of the day. That's why when you put fiat into the bank via the fractional reserve banking system, you get virtually no interest. In fact, you lose money via the melting ice cube due to inflation. Inflation is not going to slow down. More than likely, they're going to continue to print, as I pointed out earlier, as Jack Mallers called it, because that's the only option they have. So if they're going to continue to print, you want to have your money in Bitcoin because it's mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power, whereas fiat, tulip bulb, monopoly money is guaranteed to decrease your purchasing power. What happened in Argentina? Inflation. Their currency lose 250% of its value this year. That's not going to slow down, right? So if you're looking for the ultimate hedge against corrupt governments, looking for a hedge against inflation, a hedge against deflation, you're looking for incorruptible money, you're looking for unconfiscatable money, pristine collateral, all that good stuff. You're looking for a flight to safety, as Mr. Lawrence Fink calls it. Look no further than BTC and stop listening to the FUD. Stop listening to the Peter Schiffs. Stop listening to that old man or any old man yelling at Bitcoin, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Bitcoin is the future. Fiat is the past. You want to get with the future, or do you want to live in the past? Do you want your pockets living in the past or in the future? The choice is yours. When do you feel we'll get this $1 million Bitcoin price, as we've been discussing here today on this fabulous Easter Sunday? Holla at your boy and let me know. And massive shout out to David Sam. He just sent a $40 super. That's very generous of you, fam. He wrote, "Thanks for working on Easter. My wife and I appreciate you. FJB." And I got to read that again. "Thank you for working on Easter. My wife and I appreciate you. FJB." And if you agree, put a FJB in that live chat. Let's get that viral today. Hashtag FJB. Let's get that viral on X. Let's get that viral across the world. Only thing we celebrating today, Easter and Christ. Nothing else, nothing satanic. F them, right? Anyone promoting Satanism, F them, right?